How's it going, Steven, with Kiwibox.com? Right now I have the pleasure of talking with David, lead singer of the band Disturbed. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
I'm doing quite well. So your last album, Indestructible, came out last year, and it sees you guys kind of a bit angrier than you've been on previous releases. Where do you think this anger might have come from this time around?
Life experience, unfortunately. I had a difficult couple of years prior to writing the record. Betrayals, relationships got bad, motorcycle accidents, garage fires that destroyed my truck and my motorcycle, as a matter of fact, just after I fixed it from the accident. And then we've been continued, unfortunately, this year with other bits of heartache, which I'm sure I'll have the opportunity to reflect on when people ask me questions about the next record.
Hey, that is a lot to be angry about. Well, listening to the album, in particular, I noticed there were some songs addressing the nature of war, namely Enough and the title track. Have your feelings on the war changed at all since then in regards to the current political climate?
My feelings on war have always been the same. I've always been against war in its essence. I think that everyone essentially is. I've never been supportive of the taking of human life in general. However, I am fiercely supportive of the soldiers and the duty that they've sworn to do, and the fact that they protect us, and the fact that they have sacrificed everything, their existence, their families, their freedom, in order to serve. And it's that strange duality of the situation that is dealt with by them on a daily basis. That which was, no more clear than when we were there in Kuwait for Operation MySpace, and we played that show at Camp Buring. You have the most gung-ho guys in the world, as your protection, and yet they see news on the video screens in Chow Hall of a new IED explosion where 5 soldiers lost their lives, and you see the fear enter their face, and you see their demeanor change, and you see them have remorse. And it becomes very clear that even the most gung-ho soldier in the world is inherently against war. Mm-hmm. I am and will continue to be against war.
Mm-hmm. When you were over there, did you have a chance to speak with any of the soldiers and kind of talk with them about their motivation in partaking in war?
Yeah, many of them, actually. And there are mixed emotions from different people. Some harbor a lot of anger. Some harbor a lot of regret. Some just have a very fierce sense of duty and honor. And it really varies from person to person.
Well, your lyrics, obviously they deal with a lot of stuff. It must be very cathartic. They seem to come from a deep place. Do you keep a journal at all or something of that nature where you constantly write your thoughts, or do you usually save that for when you're going into writing an album?
No, I always save that. Coming up with lyrical ideas, to me, is premature if there is no music in existence. Mm-hmm. I think that because we fashion the music first, because I fashion a rhythm and a melody for the vocal prior to there being any lyrics written, sort of like a scat format, it would be almost counterproductive to have lyrical ideas prior to that, because the vibe of the music should speak to you and should affect your heart, and it should determine where you feel like going with things lyrically, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. And that's just simply the way that's always worked best for us. And given the fact that I already have a pre-existing rhythm and melody for the vocal, if it had to be stifled by a pre-existing idea, that would limit it. in terms of where I could go with things rhythmically. Instead, I need to find words that phonetically fit, and from a rhythmic fit what I've already laid out musically, and yet still make sense and tell the story that I wanted. It's not necessarily the most orthodox way of doing things, but it's certainly the way it worked best for us.
Mm-hmm. Well, your most recent album saw you guys kind of taking a different approach to the production aspect of things. You guys self-produced the last album. Is that something that you're going to continue doing, or is that kind of a one-shot deal?
I don't see any reason why we wouldn't continue doing it that way. I think that we definitely showed that with this record that we are able to do it and do it well. We're not ruling out working with anybody else in the future, but given the results and given our level of confidence in being able to do it, I don't see any reason why we wouldn't try doing it again.
Well, one of the songs in particular seemed to, it was honored by the Grammy Association. They nominated it for an award this year, but it ended up going to the Mars Volta. Was this a big disappointment for the band, or did you guys not really much think about it? Did it mean much to you? Does an award kind of qualify the quality of the work to you?
I don't think that an award qualifies the quality of the work. I think that the fans are the ones that qualify the quality of the work. Mm-hmm. The fact that this record debuted in the number one position again, that Inside the Fire in particular was the longest running single in the active rock format's existence in the number one position. It's 16 weeks in a row. Mm-hmm. Qualifies it. I think that ultimately it's really not about the critics. It's about the fans. And it's unfortunate. We would have liked to have won the award, but Mars Volta is an amazing band too, and they deserve to be awarded in their own right. So we don't harbor any ill feelings from it. We were honored to be nominated. Mm-hmm. And we will be honored if we are nominated in the future, and certainly feel even more honored if we actually win those things. So it's all good. It's just a progression forward.
Mm-hmm. Well, you mentioned that your fans are really what qualify the music, and you've recently been giving back to them with the announcement of this Bootleg Series. When did you guys decide to kind of pursue this idea and kind of make it a reality?
Well, the perpetuation of material on the internet is obvious these days. I mean, we kept seeing more and more of it. And, the next day people have been at the shows with their PDAs or whatever sort of recording devices they have, and the stuff's up on YouTube, and it sounds like garbage. Mm-hmm. So we figured instead of all these lousy versions being out there of the stuff, why not, if they want this so badly, why not spend the money, buy the equipment, and give it to them in a way that they can, then have it as a quality recording, something that they can have as a memento of the experience and something to look back on. So we have a tech out on the road with us. We've bought a specific Pro Tools rig that's used to record every single show live, and we, on a daily basis, review mixes and throw them up online so that the fans can partake of them.
Mm-hmm. Well, you guys are currently on tour right now, and it's extending all the way into early July, if I understand correct. How long do you guys usually give yourself a break after touring before moving on to the next project or the next leg of a tour or something like that?
Usually it's about 2 weeks, but we're not getting that.
Oh, well, what are the plans after the tour wraps up in early July?
We've got 5 days off, and then we have 2 weeks in Canada, then we have 5 days off, and then we've got 3 weeks in Europe, and then that's the close of the touring cycle for this record, after the touring cycle is done.
Excellent. Well, I think that is all the questions I have for you. Again, thank you so much for talking with me today. I really do appreciate it.